Thanks for coming.
Yeah, welcome to the podcast. So good to have you on. I'll push back a little bit, my mic a bit closer.
We had that bit planned for a while now.
This
The
podcast? Yeah, it's been a while in the making.
Yeah, so maybe we start with a little bit of a background check. You know,
No police record?
No
Is that what
police
you're-
records.
Have you been arrested before?
Yeah.
Have I ever? Yeah. That's an interesting podcast start.
Why don't we start from the start? Like, how did you grow up? Like, what were your parents doing? You know, was it all hospitality or?
Yeah, it's interesting. I grew up in Templestowe, out here in the eastern suburbs of Melbourne. So,
Shout out Templestowe. I live there now. So.
there you go.
Anyone out there?
It's a nice part of the world. So yeah, I grew up out there, and just did the normal school thing, and came out of school. My father worked for a German company actually that does, when you go to the Formula One or the tennis, and they have those massive marquees, the big aluminium frame marquee. So he brought those into the country and then sold them to all the party hire companies around the country.
And that was his business?
No, he worked for that. So he was the managing director of
Yeah.
that business. He worked for them for nearly 30 years doing that.
Right.
And so I was in and around a lot of events and a lot of hospitality and stuff like that. Probably before we moved to Melbourne, he was the general manager of the Albury Civic Centre. So in the main street of Albury-Wodonga.
Right.
In that Albury there. Yeah, so that was probably in my formative years. I was running around back of house, in and out of the kitchens, and sort of exposed to hospitality around that sort of age when I was sort of 11 or 12 years old.
Right.
And so I think that's where I sort of like that hospitality side of things. So
Yeah.
fast forward, I finished school, and then I went and did a degree in catering and hotel management at Victorian University in Footscray.
Yeah.
And that was really where hospo started for me.
And where does the go-karting come into it?
Yeah, that's funny. Yeah, so I'm obviously a big motorsport fan. It's funny you say that because I had a go-kart from when I was about 10 years old when we moved to Melbourne. Not long after,
cool.
I got a go-kart, and I started racing at the Oakley go-kart track.
Right.
And I've actually just bought my 6-year-old daughter a full racing kart.
Amazing.
To start racing with her.
Amazing. And you still racing now?
I race cars now, yeah.
Cool.
So I graduated from go-karts. I didn't race for a long time because I was hospital. I was working weekends I was doing, and so I didn't have it. And then it's probably about 8 years ago, my wife said, "You need to get a hobby because every time you get bored, you go and lease another cafe or you do another project." She goes, "You need a hobby, right? You get bored too easily."
Right.
And I was like, "Cool." So then, about a month later, I came home with a race car and a full transporter and
What kind of a race car? Because I'm into cars.
Oh, in the cars?
Yeah.
It's called an Aussie race car.
Right.
So it's like a fiberglass shell, purpose-built race car. It's a support category with the V8 supercars.
It's a V8.
No, it's not. It's a small footprint. It actually runs like a Yamaha XJR 1300 engine.
Okay.
So it's like a motorcycle engine with a sequential box in it.
Like a bike engine.
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
With me in the car, it weighs 600 kilos,
So
the whole
it's
thing.
just light, fun.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
cool.
it's probably a stepping stone between a go-kart and an actual full-size race car. So it sort of sits in between those. But I say it's affordable motorsport, you know what I mean? But as far as having a national sort of series. So yeah, it's good fun. So I've done that for a few years.
Do you race competitively?
Yeah.
Right.
So yeah, I'm not that competitive, but yes, I race competitively.
I've heard that you are quite competitive.
Yeah, I'm competitive with everything I do, but that doesn't mean that I'm actually winning anything.
Oh, right.
So,
you're not actually competitive, but you are competing, is what you're saying. You're not competing for the podium or anything.
Yeah. I'm going up against some young guys and girls that take it very seriously.
Yeah.
And they're putting a lot of time and energy into it.
Is that sponsored by Axil?
It's all branded up,
livery
Axil
with
Coffee
Axil?
Roasters.
That's so awesome.
It's funny in Aussie racing cars though, because most of the cars have sponsors on them,
Yeah.
but most of the sponsors are the driver's business that's painted on the outside of it.
Yeah.
So it's mainly just like a hobby. So yeah, it's good. It's good fun, and it distracts me more. It's probably counterintuitive though than what my wife Zoe wanted, because now I need to open more cafes to be able to afford to race cars.
Right.
Instead of, she thought I'd get a hobby and I'd stop opening
You
cafes.
need like golf or something.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
instead you bought a race car. Yeah.
I can't wear those silly pants. So,
Yeah.
you're not going to catch me on a golf course anytime soon.
Yeah. Also, the learning curve for golf is just so steep. It's just I could never be that bad at something for so long.
I'd have to say racing a car is pretty similar. It's pretty steep. It's pretty steep learning curve.
True.
So yeah.
I also saw you guys did a collab in the last F1 with
Audi.
Audi. Yeah. That was cool. Yeah. What was it?
It was fantastic collaboration. Actually, we got an email out of the blue that was like, "Oh, we're coming to Melbourne for Formula One, and we'd like to do a brand collaboration. Are you interested?" We didn't know which brand at that stage. It was just through a marketing company from Germany. So yeah, we set up an early morning Zoom call and jumped on, and they were like, "Oh, we're representing Audi F1, and we want to do like a collab in Melbourne around coffee."
How amazing.
So
That's right up your alley.
Yeah.
Did they know you had the motorsport background? Is
No,
that why
no.
they did it? Or they just were like, you're a cool Melbourne brand? Amazing. And what did the collab involve? I wasn't across it.
Yeah, so we did a range of in-store, all the staff were branded in Audi branding, and then we also did a range of takeaway cups, and we did a blend of coffee that was launched, and so yeah, all the stores were all signed, written up Audi for sort of the 10 days of the Formula One. So yeah, it was really good activation. And,
That's amazing.
Yeah,
That's so cool.
It's such a compliment to when somebody like a brand like that's like an international brand reaches out and says, "Oh, we really like your brand, and want to collab." So yeah, it's quite flattering.
Yeah, he manifested that. Do you like still when something, because I can tell you now that the reason why you got that collaboration is because you are that brand, right? Like you are this, you deserve to be recognized like that. Do you still get like imposter syndrome though when things like that happen? You're like, oh, like who me? Like I wouldn't expect this.
Yeah, definitely. Like, you know what I mean? Like, we still consider ourselves like quite small and quite niche and just working away at what we're doing. So, yeah, when a brand of that sort of size and everything comes to you, it is kind of like, yeah, oh, really? Like, how did this come about? So,
That's so good.
Yeah.
I love to hear these things,
me
man.
too.
They're so beautiful.
It's amazing. Yeah. So cool.
So how did Axil come to life? Like, it's a really interesting story. Why don't you tell us a little bit about it?
Yeah, it was interesting. Like I worked for another coffee company from about 2000, 2005, a big one called Dow Egbert. They're like the second largest coffee company in the world. I worked for them for about 5 years. That was right around the time that the Barista Championship was taking off in that early 2000s, and they held the first ever Victorian Barista Championship at Fed Square in 2004. And so I competed, and the funny thing was at the time, my counterpart in Sydney from Dow Egbert, he was competing in Sydney for the competition. He competed for a few years. So he said, I'll give you a few pointers of what sort of happens and how to go about it. And so, yeah, we did a day sort of training, and I went and competed at the Victorian Barista Championship, and I won that first year. And
so that was the Victorian Barista Championship.
Yeah.
Okay, and that was the first year ever.
Yeah, that was the first year it had ever been run.
And then you won it.
Yeah, so
That's elite.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
amazing.
So
That's
it was
awesome,
good.
yeah.
But look, I mean, the elite bit's interesting because then what that gave you was entry to the Australian Barista Championship.
Yeah.
So like a month or so later, I flew to Sydney for the Australian Championship, and I competed against the best 30 baristas in Australia.
Mm-hmm.
My counterpart from Sydney, he actually won. He was crowned the Australian champion that year.
What was your position?
I was dead last. I was 30th. I was so far off the pace.
Wow.
We're
it was
still
quite
so
amazing.
proud of you though.
Yeah.
For that
I mean,
placing.
still
Yeah.
a Victorian champion.
Yeah, Victorian
Yeah.
champ, first ever Victorian champ as well. Not
good.
anyone can say that.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
interesting. It
That's
was funny.
so cool.
People always ask, "What do you win? What do you get?" It was funny. I got this little coffee seedling, a little plant, and it was like this big. I've still got it. If you ever go to Axil in Bearwood Road, Hawthorn, the coffee tree is now a full 6 foot high coffee tree,
Wow,
and it
that's
sits at the
amazing.
front door.
Yeah.
So yeah, I've had that for like 22 years now.
Yes.
So
Wow.
yeah,
That's
but
beautiful.
that was the prize I got that first comp. So yeah, it's funny.
Okay, so didn't go so well. What
I
happened?
think this is where that competitive nature comes in. So then, yeah, I competed again the next year. I won Victoria for the second year. I went to the Australian final. I think I got sixth that year. So
Okay.
it was a
Big improvement.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then,
Okay, is
yeah.
it really like that's crazy? Like, so you're the champion here. Where is the other 30 from? Like from all over Australia?
Yeah,
Just-
at that stage, it was run in a slightly different format. So it was off scores, and basically the highest scores in the country got to go through to a
I
final.
see. Yeah.
And they compete as a final. It's a
Okay.
little bit different. It changed not long after that. So yeah, the third year I came back and I won Victoria for the third year.
Mm-hmm.
I went to Australia and I won Australia for the first time. So that was 2006.
36-1.
Let's
Let's
go.
go.
Yeah. So
That's the spirit, man.
If only I could do that in my race car, 36-1, yeah. But no. But that was amazing. So then, once again, you win Australia. No, there's no massive prizes. There's no anything. It gives you an entry ticket to compete at the World Barista Championship.
Let's go.
So off we go, and we packed up, and that year it's in a different city around the world every year. So in that year it was in Bern, Switzerland.
Yeah.
So we packed up. We took about 150 kilos of luggage to Bern.
Wow.
And
Why 150 kilos? Because of all your coffee.
You could take
coffee
everything.
Machines and
the coffee machine's there.
Right.
But yeah, we had to take all our coffee, cups, sauce, like everything for the presentation.
Right.
So yeah.
And I think maybe for people that are listening that don't know what a barista championship involves, I feel like not that many people would know. Can you run us through what you actually do in the competition, like what you're presenting?
It's probably the best way to describe it. It's a bit of a crossover between making coffee and a TED Talk. So we're presenting there's 4 judges sitting at a table, and there's also 2 technical judges watching everything you do. And we present the 4 judges at the table with 1 espresso each, so 4, and then 4 milk-based beverages. So like, a small sort of cappuccino latte style drink. And then 4 signature drinks. Signature drinks can be any ingredient you like, you just can't have alcohol in it. And so that's within 15 minutes. And we're also talking about where the coffee's from, how it's grown, how it's roasted, and everything like that. Realistically, the aim of the World Barista Championship is to find an ambassador for the industry. So there's a big part of being an ambassador is about being able to talk to people as you travel around the world and inspire other people to take the craft more seriously and improve their coffee making.
There is no latte art in it.
No, latte art doesn't form part of the World Barista Championship. Yeah. There is a World Latte Art competition now, which is a separate competition, that's nothing to do with flavour. That's all to do with art. So that's kind of the difference between the two. So yeah.
Okay. So we went to Bern. How did that go?
Oh, it went okay. So yeah, we went across and we got 11th in the world. So it was okay.
11th in the world is really cool. Yeah. Come on.
It's very good.
Yeah. No, it was good. And obviously, but then the fire was still there. So we came back for the 4th year. I won Victoria for the 4th time. I went to the Australian final and I narrowly missed out on winning the Australian final. I got 2nd that year. So I couldn't go to the Worlds. I actually went, and that was right around the time, because we're talking about how Axil started, right around the time I met my now wife. She was a barista at another cafe in Melbourne, and we competed against each other in that barista competition.
Whoa.
So, yeah.
That's a meet cute story.
That's
Once rivals, now
still rivals.
Now you're still rivals.
So it was good. So it was right around the time. We actually, Zoe and I, we actually still went that year to the World Barista Championship. We thought I didn't win, but we'd still go along as spectators and learn. So we went over, and that year was in Tokyo, in Japan.
Cool.
So Zoe and I went over and spent a week in Tokyo and went to the championship and learned a bit more.
Beautiful. Can you tell us about how, like, this will be a cute story.
The love story.
So you guys were competing against each other. She's also from Victoria?
Yeah, it's from Melbourne.
Let's talk about love.
And then, let's talk about love. And then how'd it go down? You guys are like, hey, like, you're the...
You went from, competing,
To be honest, there was like this information night for any baristas that wanted to compete in the competition.
Right.
Yeah.
And they invited me along to speak because I'd won the previous couple of years. And so I went along, and so the story goes, like, I spoke. I was apparently like a little bit arrogant when I spoke. In Zoe's, she was probably pretty fair. Yeah.
I should hold that over you.
Yeah.
So relationship.
Still gets brought up now.
Yeah.
So the talk finished. I went over. I was like, "Oh, hi, how you going? Where do you work?" And she's
Did you see her in the crowd while you were talking?
Yeah, it was a big crowd. It was like 20 baristas sitting around it. Right. Yeah, like, "Oh, hi, how you going? Where do you work? Wouldn't you like to know?"
So I was like,
said. Yeah. So I was like, okay. So that's sort of
a bit of kindred spirits going on here.
So that's how that sort of started. So
right.
it was quite funny. So
and then after that, can I get your number? Classic. And then
I dropped into where she worked.
Oh.
So yeah. So and then
that's Riz.
Yeah,
that's pure Riz.
The attitude continued though, because I walked in the door and she looked up behind the coffee machine and goes, what are you doing here? I get a coffee, thanks.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So,
I'm just here for a coffee.
That's a powerful move by you. To go.
Yeah, apparently. That's how it was done in the old days, yeah?
No, I like
Before you
it.
swiped, yeah?
Before the
So-
I like it. It's
Yeah.
very good. Yeah.
So,
That's awesome.
yeah, anyway, so then we moved in together. And,
Right.
we dated for a while, whatever. Then we moved in together down in
Yeah.
Richmond. And, it was kind of funny that that's sort of where Axil started then around then. So we competed in the barista competition for the 5th year. I won Victoria for the 5th time. We went to the Australian Championship. I won Australia for the 2nd time. Got me entry into the Worlds again. That year it was in Copenhagen. So once again, we did a lot of training that year. Worked
This is in
really hard.
2008, right?
Yeah, 2008, yeah. So then flew over, Zoe and I flew over with some of the other people. I was working for Veneziano Coffee at that stage, and so we all flew over as a bit of a team to Copenhagen. And in the World Barista Championship, it's between 50 and 60 baristas every year, from every country around the world that competes. And they all compete, and it goes down to a final 6. And the final 6 is quite difficult to get to the final 6. Because you go from that 50 or 60 down and the cut's quite aggressive. So we made the final 6, which was really exciting.
Wow.
Beautiful.
So then you go out for the final.
How were you
so,
feeling at that time? Were you scared? Were you excited?
More excited. Looking back, we weren't worried, or we thought, we had great coffee, had a great routine, and we were ready to go. So we competed on the day. Everything went really well. And then at the end of the day, they call the 6 baristas up, and they still do this now. It's so narrowing, but they call 6th place, and then they call 5th,
Right.
and then they call 4th, and then they call 3rd. Of course, then at that stage, there's only 2 baristas left standing on the stage, and it was me and the guy from Ireland.
Oh.
And I still remember looking at this. I'm like, I've got this. I'm going to win.
Right.
And then they're like in 2nd place, Dave making the straight. And I was like, So, it was
you made
like
it to
that
second.
that moment. So, so I got 2nd that year to, a guy from Ireland that was competing, who's an exceptional barista as well.
I love how he tells the story with this is.
It's very exciting.
He just he gets it's not like I just got seconds.
He's a real storyteller.
He does the
this
build
guy.
up. Yeah.
It was,
Okay.
I still remember that moment. It's like, and that's probably so then at that point, that's probably what's driven me from there in a competition point that, it took a long time to move past that. And there's probably still an element of me that's hasn't moved past that, I spent 5 years working all day, every day towards a goal, and then to slightly miss on that goal. It's quite frustrating even now sitting here talking about it.
Yeah.
It's like, it's that one
It still
thing
upsets
that...
you now.
Yeah, it's like, it's that
this
one
Irish
thing
guy.
Yeah. He's a nice guy. To be honest, all the baristas around the world, and we met so many fantastic people. And I think about, we met the competitor from El Salvador that year, and we started buying coffee from them when we opened Axil. They own coffee farms in El Salvador. Lily Packus, the Packus family, and she was competing for El Salvador. We met her backstage. And we started buying her, and we've now bought coffee off her every year for the last 16 years.
Amazing.
So it's been a great relationship. But that sort of enabled us to have the confidence to be able to come back. And at the end of 2008, we came back, and Zoe had then moved on. She was roasting coffee at that stage for another coffee roaster.
Yeah.
She'd go to work all day and roast coffee. I go to work all day and sell coffee. And I was like, this is a little silly. We should open our own business.
Yeah.
We eventually resigned from our jobs, and we started Axil.
Beautiful.
Wow.
Where does the name Axil come from?
Axil is actually a botanical word. It comes out of a botanical dictionary. Right. It's actually the angle where the new buds bloom from.
Okay.
It applies to all trees, not just coffee trees, but we use it's the point of new life on a coffee tree, basically. So that Axil is where the name comes from.
That's sweet.
It's very interesting. It's a topic we actually wanted to talk to you about, but I think the fact that you opened in 2008, which was a big year in general in the economy and all the world crisis stuff happening, starting a business back then and kind of running a business right now with this current situation and the war and whatnot, I think it's I'm sure you'll have something on that.
Yeah, we opened Axil in 2010. I'd had a few businesses prior. I'd had a couple of cafes, and I'd opened a cafe and done quite well out of it. There was one just down in St Kilda Junction. Would you believe we built it? I only owned it for about 6 weeks, and then we flipped it. Somebody came in and bought it from us, and then I moved. I actually opened a cafe in Sandringham, on Station Street, Sandringham, next to the train station. That was my real sort of cafe that I owned and ran and sort of built. It did really well. We did that, and I sold that after about a year and a half.
Which cafe is this one?
It was called Station 74. It's been renamed a few times since then.
Yeah.
It's still there, the cafe space itself. And then
is it one on the corner or the other one?
It's between the Bendigo Bank and the actual train station, so it backs onto the platform of the train station.
Okay.
So it was a good spot, and we did quite well out of it. And I suppose I was pretty young at that stage, reasonably young. Like I was in my mid-20s or something like that. I'd done a couple of cafes, made some good money. Just was a touch arrogant, rolled into the city and leased a restaurant and sort of bar, like cocktail bar. It was a double-story venue on
Flinders Lane. So that's before Axil.
This is all pre-Axil.
Yeah.
And then, I lost it all. So I lost everything I'd made on the 2 cafes prior. And I lost about $450,000 I lost, and then ended up having to move back in with mum and dad in my early 30s. And I was like so broke. I had all this debt.
That would have traumatized you to open another business.
Yeah.
But you still went with it.
It's funny because that's around the time then I went and worked for Veneziano Coffee, and the owner of that's a guy called Rocky. And he was like, how much money do you owe? I'm like, like 400 grand or something I have to pay off. And he's like, you are never going to be able to do that just working for me. You're going to need to invest in another business or a cafe.
Wow.
And I'm like, dude, I'm like $400,000 in the hole. He's like, go and get a Citibank credit card for 30 grand. Pull the 30 grand off the credit card and just put it into the next cafe I'm opening in a couple of months and buy a share of it and then go again. So off I went, got a Citibank credit card at 18%. And then
this guy changed your life for real.
Yeah.
This guy Rocky, like, wow.
Yeah.
Wow, that's so beautiful. Man.
Yeah. So he's been a really there's 2 guys that own Veneziano Coffee. It's a guy called Rocky Veneziano, obviously the name's again, Craig Dixon, and both of them spent a lot of time and energy on me and have really helped me to carve out and sort of understand the right and wrong things to do.
So they've mentored you.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. And I probably speak to both those guys probably like once a week, once a fortnight still. Like something will come up and I'll be like, I'm kind of stuck. Like, what do I do? Or there's a problem or something, and I'll ring them up and be like, hey, this is it. And then one of them will be like, oh, yeah, I remember when this happened to us. You watch out because we did this, and, and there's the bit of experience and stuff.
Yeah.
So I definitely think and I worked really hard for them, and it's one of the things that I try and say to the next generation as well, is like, even when I resigned, I gave plenty of notice. I worked my ass off right up until that last day. Yeah. I did everything I possibly could to make sure that I parted on really good terms with them, and it's allowed me to keep in contact with them. And I wouldn't be as successful today if it wasn't, for my ability to call on them every so often and for them to give me some advice.
So you put 30 grand into their new venue, like a cafe, and then you ran that. You were like the manager, and then you're also profiting from that. And then at what point did you go and start Axil?
Yeah, so I did that, and then we had it for a year, flipped that, and then we invested in another cafe over in Parkville, and then we flipped that, and I started chipping away. I eventually got back where I was square. It took about 5 years or so, but I paid off all my debt.
Wow.
Moved back out from mum and dad's. And that's
good.
Which was good. Moved back here.
So you're mid-30s now.
Yeah.
Okay,
so that'd be so I was so
not now. I mean,
then
that time.
So it'd be like mid-30s, late 30s, and then at that stage, so I paid off the debt, but I didn't have any funds, so I put a business plan together. Zoe and I were in that 1-bedroom apartment in Richmond renting. And I put a business plan together, and I went to a few people in the industry and stuff, and we pulled some funds together. We used the trusty old Citibank credit card again. I'd paid it off, but we pulled some money off of that again, and we bundled it all up, and we got Axil Coffee Roasters in Burwood Road, Hawthorn, and that was our first site. So it was a big move. It's 700 square metre building.
So that's 2008.
2010.
10.
Yeah,
okay.
so it was 2 years after my runner-up in the Worlds.
Yeah.
Off the back of that, specialty coffee was like buzzing at that stage in Melbourne. It was like a really good time to open.
So Axel is right now 16 years old.
Yep.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
And yeah, tell us about that journey. Like 16 years and like, I mean, to get, I feel like people say the first 4 or 5 years of the business are the hardest, where you're like not sure about your moves. Did you go through that, or did you just like have the vision and just...
I think we had the vision, and because I'd done a couple of cafes previously, and obviously at this stage I'd been working in and out of hospitality, you know, for nearly 15 or 16 years already pre-Axil. So
Yeah.
I had a bit of an idea like what I wanted to do and how I wanted to do it. And Zoe, you know, obviously as well, she'd worked for some other coffee companies, so we're able to bring both of our experience together. Particularly Zoe on the roasting side of it, and in the early days, like sourcing the right coffee, roasting some great coffee. And then I was able to more handle the front of house, so I was on the floor running the cafe.
I could see Dave. He's
Massively, yeah.
great salesman.
All I've been
Like,
thinking is
yeah.
him as the manager.
Absolutely.
They're coming in there. Yeah.
I still really enjoy, like, if I'm in the cafe or whatever, I still love being on the floor or, you know, talking to people. And yeah, so it's funny, but the World Barista Championship's got that bit of a TED talk, bit of a performance. But I think running a cafe or a restaurant, you need that as well. You need that front person that can engage with the customers and remember people's names and remember orders. And there's lots of places in Melbourne that are serving coffee or serving great food. But yeah, it's kind of that service hospitality piece that's kind of the bit I enjoy.
Differentiate yourself in some way, and service is a really good way to do that. But it's also very challenging to do that.
Yeah,
So,
I think when I was doing it and it was me and we had one venue, well, that's very different. I was very controllable, and you know, it was pre-kids, so Zoe and I were there like 7 days a week, you know, 80 plus hours, you know,
Just pumping it.
Yeah, and we're just, you know what I mean, like But if we hadn't have done that, then it wouldn't have been as successful, and therefore wouldn't have led us to what we've been able to do since.
That's how it is, though. I mean, like, if people are thinking of opening a cafe and not working in it basically every day, then it's not going to be very successful at the start. You need to really invest heavily at the start, especially when you're trying to build your community and all those kinds of things. How do you go about, like, you've got a lot of cafes now. How do you go about maintaining?
How many cafes do you have right now? Like, it's all in Victoria.
Too
right
many is the correct answer.
many,
but no, I have 17 Axil branded cafes, and then I have investment in about 10 other cafes that are under different brands and different
But
names.
like the Axil ones are 17.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Okay,
So 16 in Melbourne and 1 in Sydney.
Okay.
Yeah. How do you go about maintain? Like, obviously you have a strong belief in service. How do you go about maintaining that across 16 venues?
It's really difficult. I think we've got a great team, and one of the things that we've been able to do at Axil is have incredible tenure. So my EA, who sits next to me every day, Kelly, she's been with us for 15 years. My director of coffee, Matthew, he's been with me like just shy of opening. I think he started with us about 4 or 5 months after we opened Axil. So he's been there an incredibly long time as well. And I think that tenure of the staff, which runs across all those management positions, allows us to have the level of knowledge and understanding of kind of like what we need to do and how we need to do it.
How do you keep people with you for that long?
It's difficult, but I think, and everyone uses the buzzword culture. And I think as much as possible, we make it an enjoyable place to work. I don't think we take ourselves too seriously either, which, like, obviously we take our craft seriously, but we don't take ourselves seriously. There's an element sometimes within specialty coffee that really takes themselves very seriously. Like they're curing cancer or something. I'm like, guys, like, we make coffee for a living, yeah? Like, don't, like, you know, don't take, like, we're obviously passionate in what we do and we work really hard at what we do, but I mean,
it's just coffee,
you know what I mean? Like, we're not, like I said, we're not curing cancer. Like, there's a lot of people doing a lot more important jobs in this world than what we're doing. And we love what we do and we work hard at what we do. But we try to stay humble and not take ourselves too seriously.
Okay.
Right. And so it's just about hiring the right people to also, because you obviously can't be across all 17 locations.
No, not at all.
You'd have like upper and middle management and things like that, and you just kind of let that trickle down. I guess you also have the benefit of, and I know because we work with Honor as well, right? And they're serious, and they have like latte art champions, and they're serious about coffee. But the people that are actually passionate about coffee, they come and work for you, because you guys have that prowess, you guys have that reputation.
Well,
right?
didn't
so
you
passionate
guys?
people are.
Yeah, because you guys just won. Your guy won the World Barista Champion 2025. What was his name?
Jack.
Jack.
Yeah.
So how do you attract those people?
I mean, it's interesting, but I mean, Jack's worked for us as well, on and off, I think 8 years. Something like
Wow.
that. So Jack came to us and worked. We had a cafe down Bridge Road, Richmond, called Mayday.
Yeah.
And so Jack came across there and was the barista there for a while. And then he eventually came across and worked with us at Axil. And then he actually went overseas for a little while and then came back and ended up back working for Axil again. And yeah.
How does someone go from like a barista to become a world barista champion? Honestly, like, well, how do they even think about it?
I mean, it's funny because like obviously coming so close has driven me to train other people and, and everything like that. And we spent years and years and years. We finally won the World Barista Championship in 2022 with barista Anthony Douglas, and he'd worked with us for I think 8 or 9 years at that stage, like a long time he'd worked with us and trained, and he'd come like same sort of story. He'd come like 8th and 5th and 4th, and then he got a 3rd and a 2nd and another 2nd, and he was really close on a number of occasions and never finally won Australia. And then we went to Worlds the first time, and he won the World Barista Championship the first time. And after,
wow, that would have been an incredible win.
Were you there?
Yeah, of course. Yeah,
Wow.
definitely there. It was actually in Melbourne that year.
Did that
So yeah.
What? It was in Melbourne as well?
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
solid. Was that like a moment of like peace for you? Just like kind of...
It was 99% of me was like, this is the best day ever, and just jumping for joy. And 1% of me, God damn it, why isn't that me? You know what I mean? Still the burn. You know what I mean? That So
You do
look,
not want to get into a competition with this guy. That is one thing that is made very clear to me right now. Don't play cards with him. Don't
I like playing cards.
Don't like arm wrestle him or anything like that, because he'll do anything to win.
pretty much. So yeah. So we'd spent from like 2004 when I first competed. It took till 2022 to finally win a World Barista Championship. You know what I mean? Like when you think about it, like we have lost so many competitions over the years, and that's one thing now. In the last few years, we've had some incredible success. So, we went from Anthony winning, and the following year, then Jack had trained with Anthony. They worked together in the training room, and with our director of coffee, Matt, they'd all really worked really hard together as a team. So the next year, Jack competed, and then Jack won Australia, and we're like, wow, this is amazing. So we had 2 Australian champions in a row, 2 different guys. And so Jack went off, and we competed in Greece that year in Athens, and Jack got 3rd in the world. And we were like 1st, 3rd, this is amazing.
Right.
And so Jack's like, same sort of burn, super competitive guys, like, it's not good enough. I need to go back and have another go. Yeah. So he trained really hard. He won Australia the next year.
Right.
Then that year we went off, was in Korea that year in Busan. And we went off, and same thing happened. They're calling out, Jack's in the final 6. They're calling out the thing, and they go 6th, 5th, 4th, 3rd, and we're all like,
No
oh
way.
my God, he's done it.
Got
second place, Jack Simpson.
Shit. Did that striker unnerve with you?
Even talking about it now, I'm like,
PTSD.
grown men. A lot of grown men were crying, including myself. Like it was really like we'd worked so hard.
Yeah.
And then the result, he lost by 1 point. And so it's out of 840 odd points or something. So he lost by 1 point, right? So you're talking like a fraction of a percentage.
You felt robbed for sure.
Yeah, for sure. And then you go through the score sheets and you're looking at them, and there's always one judge's score sheet that's slightly lower than the others, which is normally how it works anyway, but you zero in on it. And you can find that 1 point. Honestly, you can find it in about 10 different places on the score sheets.
Yeah.
But that's just the way it goes. So,
someone have to win.
Yeah.
Can I also ask, I've been interested while you've been talking about the World Barista Championship, like which countries constantly rank like in the top 10 or top 5? Is it consistently like a few countries that are always kind of competing for that top spot, or?
Yeah, Australia's consistently in that top sort of, top 6. You don't see Australia drop out of that top sort of 10 very often. There's a couple of results. Like my 11th that year was outside of the top 10. But realistically, since it started in 2000, I think we've been in the top 10 all but about 4 years.
Who won
What
the
about
most?
what about the other countries?
Who won the
Which other
most?
countries are often in the top 10?
It's interesting as it's moved throughout the years, different countries. So in the early days, the Nordic countries did really, really well. They drink a huge amount of coffee. They were very good at espresso. They took the whole espresso concept and really got some really good techniques and everything around it, and technically were very, very strong. So they did really well in the early days. Then it actually went through a transition of where a few of the producing countries were really good. So like in El Salvador, Guatemala, they were winning because they were sourcing some incredible coffee. That's where we actually saw the quality of coffee that was being produced around the world really change. That was, really interesting. So they were getting some really interesting tasting coffee. And so they were taking the technical skills and then they were adding superior coffee, and then we were seeing them win. And then more recently, it's been a combination of probably both those things. Everybody's sort of caught up now in terms of technical skill and in sourcing coffee as well. And so now it's been moving around a lot. There hasn't been a consistent theme. To be honest, the end part of that story is that Jack won Australia for the third time in 2025. We went to compete at the World Barista Championship that year, and Jack won. So they did the whole 6, 5, 4, 3. Here we are again, and we're like, oh, not runner up again. And they called, and luckily that we won that year.
It's amazing.
So, in Melbourne.
It was in Milan that year with
Milan.
Jack. So last year it was Milan with Jack.
Yeah.
We won 2025. So from a dominant point of view, to have a winner, a third, a second, and then another winner, all from the one country, but all from the same coffee company, hadn't really been done before.
Which is Axil.
Yeah, which is an incredible achievement for the team.
Huge.
Yeah.
Once you put into context like that, wow. How did that feel?
Yeah, it's still, like quite surreal because, we just go about what we do on a daily basis and we really enjoy what we do at Axil. And it wasn't some moment where, and I warned Jack about this, it was kind of funny, but I said, you got to prepare yourself that even if you win, you wake up the next day, you're still the same guy, engaged to the same great girl, still with the same job working for me. Like 99% of the DNA of who you are won't really change, whether you win or you lose. So, but incredible for him to win. And obviously it just puts you on this amazing platform. So then he gets, doing a lot of travel at the moment. Jack's traveling around the world and doing a lot of expos and doing a lot of things and meeting a lot of people. And
it's amazing.
Yeah, it's been great for him.
Two things. One, is he going to be defending his title this year?
It's funny, nobody ever defends their title at a world. So there has never been a 2-time World Barista Champion. Every single person that's ever won the World Barista Championship has never competed again. I would say that the reason for that is that when you win, you suddenly are, like you're on and off planes, flying around the world, you're at expos, you're doing this. Jack, leading up to the World Barista Championship, he was probably like 7 days a week, 8 to 10 hours a day standing in the training room, training for that. You just don't have the time to do that.
And I feel like if you won it once, like, why would you want to go compete again and risk not winning it again? Do you know what I mean?
But in saying that, it's like, it's never been done before. Imagine if you had a two-peat.
It
would be so unbelievable.
Yeah. I think there's a bigger thing though too. There's a lot of respect that goes between all the barista champions, right, from all around the countries. Part of it is also that it almost seems like it's kind of greedy. It's nice for somebody else to have the opportunity, open it up for somebody else to have the win, then try and go back and sort of dominate.
It's not like, a soccer team or like a league or something.
Yeah. I guess it's also, even Jack, he has a partner, right? Another guy that you're training, and it would be nice for that guy to have a shot at winning or...
Yeah, we don't. It's funny. We don't have a competitor for this year, so we didn't field a competitor this year. Right. So, we may in the future end up with somebody within our team that wants to have another go at it. But it'll be another. We will go through a period now where we'll go through another 5 to 10 years of working on somebody and training with somebody before we could even get to that level again where we could go and compete at Worlds. I don't think, like, if we grab one of our baristas out of one of the stores now, and even if we spent every single day with them for the next, like, 6 months, we probably still couldn't get them to win the Australian Championship. There's so much that comes from experience and from, you know, competing in competitions and then losing and then competing again. And so you go through that journey. So most of the barista competitors' journeys are like mine that I described, where you work hard, you don't do so well, and you slowly work your way up over the years. But during that journey, why do we do it? Like, all of the skill that we're learning along the way then filters down into the rest of the team, and therefore hopefully all of our teams making better coffee.
Would you compete again?
Oh man, I would love to compete again. It's
Do it.
I know it always comes up when we talk about it. There's no age barrier or anything like that. There's no reason I couldn't. I would say the biggest reason I couldn't, once again, is the same reason as time. That obviously,
So you're
when
going to be in their everyday
You
training.
need to train.
now I have a lot of different businesses, you know, that I have to run. I've also got 2 young children.
Race cars.
Yeah, like, so,
Yeah.
it's just, I wouldn't be able to fit it in.
Okay.
And I wouldn't want to compete unless I was able to stand in that room 7 days a week and push myself to be the best.
That's amazing. And
Yeah, you go.
the other thing I was going to ask you was, from a business standpoint, what does having a World Barista Championship as part of your company mean for you? Does it change anything? Like, does it mean more business? Tell us.
I mean, it means everything and it means nothing.
Right.
Is the honest answer is that, yes, in certain circles, like, people are very aware that, you know what I mean, in coffee circles, that, you know, Jack from Axil Coffee is the World Barista Champion. And so that might help us a little bit in a little bit of brand awareness, and maybe having some cafes talk to us about, you know, using Axil Coffee in their cafe. So it grows that wholesale part of the business of roasting and supplying coffee. It's disappointing that we've never been able to, whether it's the Australian Barista Championship or the World Barista Championship, we've never been able to kind of break this through to the mainstream general public.
Yeah.
Like huge percentage of people drink coffee on a daily basis.
Yeah.
But we've never kind of been able to break through to that market.
Right.
And I think that's a bigger problem with the whole championship, is how do you get it to relate more to the general public and have them understand more about what it is and why it's important.
Yeah.
I guess it just comes down to branding and marketing, honestly.
Yeah.
Like, that's, you know, like, that's it, really. Just
I mean, a
making
lot
it
of things now come
cool.
down to that. Branding and marketing is
Yeah.
just such a massive part of everything. I'd also say still the World Barista Championship's only 25 years old. It's only, you know what I mean? It's still
young,
in
yeah.
its infancy. For the first 15 years, it was run by a voluntary organisation where people were volunteering their time. Over the last decade, they've started to spend more money on it. They have people in paid positions now. And definitely we've seen the acceleration of the Barista Championship over the last decade. And I think it'll continue and become maybe, you know, easier for us to come through to the general public about what we're doing and why it matters.
Nice. And what's the vision for Axil, like, the, you know, future vision?
It's funny, because we talked a little bit before about, like, when, you know, what's happening at the moment with the economy and everything like that.
Yeah.
I'd say when I opened Axil, I had a 5-year business plan. Like, I had like really elaborate, like, you know, P&Ls and cash flow. And I had a real vision of kind of, you know, Zoe and I worked out what we wanted to do and how we were going to go about it. But we kind of fast forward, and then we went into COVID. And then everything sort of just got dropped. We went to survival mode. It was like, what's going to happen? Are we going to be here in a year from now? So yeah, we sort of had that. And then we came out of COVID, kind of came out of it. And then we had a cost of living crunch. And then on top of that now, we've layered the fuel problem on top of the cost of living crunch, which is just even more of a problem. I look and go now, man, this has been going for like, 6.5 years or something now? Chaos, yeah. And I look back now and go, I don't believe how easy the first 10 years of running Axil was compared to how difficult the last 6.5 years was. Wow. So I, to be honest, we don't have a strong business plan in place at the moment. I think we're still, like a lot of businesses, we're moving from week to week and month to month, trying to work out, how to keep moving forward. The government keeps changing some of the goalposts as well, which is making it difficult. And I think we're going to see the back half of this year a lot more problems in hospitality, and a lot more venues closing.
because of the current.
I think, yeah. And then, so, superannuation got increased, by 0.5% over the last few years. So it went from 10% to 12%. You're now going to payday super. So from the 1st of July.
For employees, basically.
Yeah. So all employers, so all cafe owners out there, restaurants, everyone. So when you pay your staff, and most hospitality work on weekly payrolls,
of course,
you have to pay their superannuation on the same day. Now, I think that's a great idea, and because part of the problem with our industry is huge amounts of people haven't been paid correct super, and there's been a lot of problems.
Of course,
so I think it's a good thing, but I also think it's going to put incredible cash flow pressure on a number of businesses, and therefore you'll see a lot more of them close. There's an element of people who will say, well, that's probably a good thing, but there's also the human element to it, where you've got people that have put lots of money and life savings and family businesses. It's got this huge. So although I think it needs to happen, I think our industry needed a massive cleanup. And I think COVID in a way helped to do that. I think we're going to see some more tough times for the back half of this year.
Yeah, I guess it's all honestly, I think, you see there is a lot of brands that are doing really well, and I think these guys, whatever you throw at them, they're gonna keep going. If you're busy, if you're consistently, busy, no problems. But yeah, you can feel it. You walk past a place or a venue or a restaurant, you can just feel the energy, not busy enough. And I don't think it's sustainable for a lot of these people. They're just surviving, So I think it's good to just kind of filter it, and I don't know, maybe there is oversupply, and I think just keeping the good stuff going is not a bad thing, I guess.
Yeah,
it's hard though. The human element of what you're saying is so challenging because everyone's on their same journey. I mean, it's imagine if we were one of those people and we were forced to close.
It's hard.
It's media. It's fucking heartbreaking.
Yeah, it's hard.
Yeah.
Is the $10 coffee on its way?
No.
No.
No. I mean, sorry. In saying that, yes. But in the short-term future, no. That's unfortunately, not to have a dig at the media. Here we are on a podcast, but that's media hype. We are not going to see a $10 coffee in the next 3 to 5 years. Okay. Inflation, of course, everything, we'll see it at some point.
Yeah.
But not in the immediate future, no.
How much was the coffee 5 years ago?
So how much
was a latte? Coffee, a small latte, yeah.
Yeah, it's accelerated quite quickly, but I'd say, if we go back, I would say we were probably at $4.20, $4.50.
So when you opened in 2010, how much was it?
Yeah, that's good. I think it was $3.90 for a small.
Jeez, okay.
Yeah, in 2010.
Okay.
So then when you look at
that late rate of inflation from 2010 to 2020, the 10 years, that's so low. It went up 40 cents or something.
No, now it's...
No, but he was saying that it was
we're $5.90 now. So we went from $3.90 to $5.90.
But he said it went to $4.20 at 5 years ago. It was $4.20.
Yeah, roughly. Well, 5 years ago.
So that increase from $3.90 to $4.20, and they opened in 2010.
Yeah.
That's
10 years.
10 years.
Yeah. And
it only
we
went
moved
up 40 cents.
40,
but now
50.
it's gone up $1 in the last 5. That's what I'm saying. The rate of inflation was slow. Yeah.
And I think it was artificially kept slow because, I think it's pretty common knowledge, but all across Melbourne, there was a lot of stuff were being paid cash in hand, and there was a whole sort of thing where it was artificially being kept quite low.
Yeah.
And therefore, what was happening is that they were able to keep the price of that coffee low. And then we came to COVID. It was really interesting, but I don't know if the government realised it at the time or not, but they did JobKeeper. But JobKeeper only applied if the staff member had been on your books for, I think it was 12 months.
Right.
So what happened was, of course, any single cafe or restaurant in Australia that didn't have staff on their books, they didn't qualify for JobKeeper, which basically meant straight away that a lot of businesses that weren't doing the right thing. The other thing that the government did is they did PAYG refunds. Yeah. So pay as you go withholding tax. Yeah. So once again, if you weren't paying staff on the books and you weren't paying a PAYG, then you weren't getting those refunds.
Yeah.
It pretty much overnight cleaned up a huge section of the industry that hadn't been doing the right thing.
It's so crazy with hospitality because it's if you actually know it, the reason why now everyone's like up in arms about like, you know, things getting expensive and food is this and blah, but like what was keeping it what it was a bit more unregulated. It was so unregulated, and like people were getting paid cash in hand, and we had, you know, people coming from overseas that were paying fuck all, and that's how hospitality was run. And now it's like everyone has to be on the books, everyone's going to be paid correct, like any regular business, but that just means so much on charging that like, and it just happened at a rapid pace, like you said. It's very interesting when you think about it in that way. So
penalty rates, you know, a lot of business were paying. So you weren't seeing weekend surcharges. So even now, people are going, just all of a sudden, every hospitality venue's pretty much got a weekend surcharge, right?
Yeah.
Public holiday surcharge. Well, that's hopefully because the idea is that they're all paying the correct penalty rates now. But because they're all paying the correct penalty rates, they're now having to add those surcharges. Yeah. People find that hard, but like in hospitality, average now is if you buy a plate of food or a cup of coffee, 35 to 40% of the cost of that cup of coffee is being spent on the wages. So the problem is when, but unlike in retail, so if you go into a fashion store, they're only at like 10 or 15%. So when they open on a public holiday, their labor cost goes from like 10 or 15% and jumps to 20 to 30%, which means for the day, they're still profitable. They'll still make a profit by selling jeans and t-shirts that day. In hospitality, the wage cost goes from 35 to 40%. It goes like 70 to 80%. So then no matter what you do, you're going to lose money that day.
Yeah.
We lose money even still now with a surcharge on, but we open more so to keep our market. Because obviously if you close for the day, people might go to another shop or another store, and then you start to lose some of your clientele. Yeah. But it's really difficult. And like we've got Easter this weekend. And
two
that's
public holidays.
Four.
Yeah,
because the government classifies the Saturday and Sunday as gazetted public holidays.
Wow.
So then you'll pay 225% of the normal rate on Friday, on Saturday, on Sunday, and on Monday. Wow. 225% of the base rate.
That's what no one sees.
Once again, I think the staff deserve it. Like if you're going to work on Good Friday, you're going to work on Easter Sunday, you're not going to be able to go and have lunch with your family. It's not about that. It's about the other side of it, is people coming into the store, and then some people get really angry about like, oh, why am I being charged this, this penalty rate? Or
that's why a lot of people close as well, because it's just not worth it.
Yeah, I think that's where you've seen a little bit of that regression, where people have decided it makes more sense just to close for the day.
I actually saw it a lot this time of the year now. A lot of people are just closing. So how are you guys navigating this current economy?
It's really difficult because you've got this cost of living pressure. So on one hand, all our costs are going up. So like this week, we had like 20 letters from all our suppliers, all adding fuel surcharges. So basically everything we buy. But then on the flip side,
sorry, can you say that again? What's the fuel surcharge thing?
Oh, so you get a letter from the milk company that's we're going to charge like $3 per delivery now to cover the extra fuel. And then, every single supplier is sending you a letter basically saying, it's $2 an invoice or $5 an invoice for every delivery you get to your cafe.
And then how do you turn that into your own?
Well, that's the problem. Then you've got this cost of living pressure on top where we're like, can we increase the price any more than where we are? Is that going to risk losing customers? Right. So then if you don't increase your price, then basically your margin's shrinking. So all of a sudden, if you keep going like this, over the next 12 months, your margin shrinks and shrinks, and you find yourself in an unprofitable position. And then I think a lot of cafes have found themselves in that position.
And then add to it the uncertainty of like, if this is 1 month in now with the war, and like, this is what's happening, how long it's going to be? Like, how can we move forward? Like, do I open another cafe? Do I close it? It's like, how do you mentally like...
That's the other thing too. Once a supplier increases their price,
it doesn't go down. I was literally just about to say that.
Yeah.
That's what they did. And they did that in COVID too. Like when we had all the problems with getting things imported, and even with petrol, the same thing happened. Remember when petrol was like, it went up to $2 last time there was a thing in the Middle East, and the petrol went up over like $2, and then it went down, but it never went back down to like $1.30 or anything. No.
And the same thing's happening. So like all your different suppliers, bacon, bread, like all these different things all went up, and then as the price then comes back, they won't reduce their prices. So
Not
but
fully. They'll go down a bit, but it won't go back down to what it was.
Same thing could be said though for restaurants and cafes. At the end of the day, like, you know, we've increased our prices over the last 18 months to keep up with inflation. And so, yeah, but it's like this never-ending cycle though, because they're going to come out this year.
It's a game.
Yeah,
But then you got to raise your wages and like, you know, all like everything is just a cycle of like bullshit.
Yeah.
It's exactly right. We'll come to the 1st of July. The government's going to increase the wage dramatically this year to try and keep up, like to reduce this cost of living pressure, right? So they will...
Everyone's wage.
The award wages, so then that's the minimum wages,
Yeah.
which is what most hospitality workers are off the
Right.
restaurant and catering award. So they'll increase that dramatically. I think they're definitely, all of them are all entitled to it, but as the cafe owners, we then have to pass it on. So then it's going to be interesting to see then how your public responds to that, because they're like, oh, the cost of coffee's gone up again. And but the wages went up, and then superannuation and payroll tax and everything is a percentage of the base rate.
Yeah.
So then, you know, it doesn't sound like much, 5%, but you know, it's 5% and then
It's
super
everyone.
on that and
We've
payroll.
got so many staff. Yeah.
Yeah. So then 6%. So I would say that you will see the award go up, which it needs to.
Yeah.
On the 1st of July. But then I think everyone better buckle in, because I think you'll see all the prices in all restaurants and cafes go up again.
Scary times.
It's so hectic.
Yeah, it's moving so quickly.
Yeah.
And I think that's what's also
The speed,
scary.
the speed is a big deal, because like you were saying before, with the price of coffee, that 10 years it only went up not even a full dollar. But
Yep.
then now, because it's just moving so fast, and that's also what's challenging for the public to grasp. You know, when things change quickly, everyone's afraid of change, and they get up in arms about it. And their first thing to do is to like resist change, right? Everyone is doing that.
Yep.
And then it's like, well, then they're just going to be not wanting to dine out or thinking of different things, because everyone gets used to it. Like we saw that, I think like the first half of this year was probably a lot better than what it was in previous years, because everyone said like if it went up, everyone would kind of just get used to it. You know what I mean? They'd make like adjustments, and maybe like it wouldn't go back to 100% what it was, but it definitely wouldn't be so bad. But then if it just keeps on changing, people get scared. It's difficult.
Yeah, it's such a shame, the timing of this whole fuel situation, because we felt that we'd finally sort of come out of COVID and the cost of living crunch. It had finally had settled. Like the last 3 to 4 months, we were looking at our numbers going, oh, the numbers look okay, where we're kind of settled. We'd start to see a little bit of growth in some of our cafes, and we were kind of feeling there was a level of confidence.
Yeah.
And that's what they always talk about, isn't it? When things go wrong in the world, it's actually the confidence.
Yes.
So people's confidence of how much money they should keep in case this gets really bad.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
then people spend less and
Of
hold it.
course, yeah, it's
So,
a
yeah.
whole cycle of.
Yeah.
I mean, I always think about it. It's like, how am I feeling at this moment about going and buying a coffee? Do you know what I mean? Like, okay, with everything going on right now, I got to start thinking, shit, like, you know, it's, and everyone is just like the same. We all are the same, you know, like.
We've seen, yeah.
Unless you're in like the 1% that have billions and don't give a shit, but you know, it's everyone is in the same boat, and that's where you should
Look,
start.
upon reflection, touch wood, that we're actually in Australia, and these are kind of like our problems. They're not really like, they are problems.
Yeah.
But
Very
they're
first world.
superficial.
Of
Yeah,
course,
yeah.
of
Like
course,
your
yeah.
family that's in Lebanon, like
Of course,
they're
yeah.
actually scared for real reasons. So like, you know,
Of course.
thank God that we live in Australia.
Yeah.
Oh, for sure. And
yeah.
like, you know, we're in like the top 1% of income earners in the world living here in Australia. Like, I agree with you. Sometimes, yeah, and I'm definitely an optimist. So I'm always very much like glass half full, and I'm always pushing forward. And even during COVID, I was very much like that. And we have to keep moving forward and stay very positive. And I need to do that for the team. Because we have 300 staff now at Axil, so I need to make sure that like I'm positive and I'm conveying that at all times, and that goes through the team, and we keep that energy to keep moving forward. And I truly believe that look, hasn't been a great few years, and this fuel situation's a problem once again, and the threat of maybe the war accelerating to involve more countries is kind of terrifying. But here, sitting in Melbourne, I need to stay positive, keep my team positive, and keep moving forward.
Yeah. Things will always work out
Yeah.
with that mentality. Like things actually will always work out for you. I feel like with that mentality.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a great way, I reckon, to wrap up this beautiful conversation.
Yeah, it's been good. We could talk all day.
really-
This guy,
We
you're-
finished a little
really
sad
good.
though, but yeah, like
Yeah.
overall, the coffee industry in Melbourne is a global leader. Like, you know, all around the world, people talk about the Melbourne specialty coffee scene, and the whole industry, actually, everybody involved in the Melbourne scene should be really proud of, you know, the
Yeah.
reputation we've carved out globally.
Yeah, yeah. And
Thank
you're at the
you so
forefront of
much.
that.
Yeah,
So
thanks for sharing all this beautiful knowledge and stories. It's actually been such a
It's been amazing.
It's
Yeah, this
so good.
podcast. You're so good to talk to.
Appreciate it.
really good.
Honestly, you're amazing.
Anything else you would like to add before we wrap?
No, not at all. Thanks for having me on.
Thank you.
Did we ask a question?
What's
the question?
Yeah, you go.
You go.
No, you go.
All right. If you could collaborate with anyone, dead or alive, it doesn't have to be hospitality related. It can be like Ferrari. It can be like Nike. It can be another coffee company. Who would it be and why?
Wow, it's such a hard question.
Yeah.
Especially when you opened it up to anything past. No. I mean, for me, it'd probably be something from a personal point of view. I'd always love to do something, you know, within the car sort of
For
category
sure,
and
yeah.
everything like that. And I mean, like, Ferrari's one of those things that I was a kid when I was young, I had a picture of one on the wall, and, you know, that'd be the one. You know, when we were in Milan last year with Jack for the World Barista Championship, I had a day off at the end. I jumped and I drove to Maranello and went to the Ferrari factory and did a tour, and like, it's just from a brand point of view. It's like, yes, I love the cars, but I look at it and go, if I could build a brand like that, it'd just be amazing, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Legacy.
Yeah,
So collaborate.
That's the word.
I love this.
Yeah.
Axil X Ferrari. Let's make it happen.
Yeah, that's it. Lewis Hamilton, if you're out there, I got your coffee covered, buddy.
All right.
Beautiful. All right. That was
Thanks,
good.
mate. That was great. Appreciate it. Thank you.